So hello everyone, I am from the Haust Network. We're like layer 2 rollups and basically pretty big ecosystem that includes many cool stuff. And you know, it's anytime nice to speak after some technical guy because it means that you don't need to describe once again the technical stuff. You can be just focused on the real adoption of the technologies. And basically it's what we are doing in the Haust Network. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that all of you know the challenges that we faced in the crypto space. It's pretty basic, yeah? So first of all, it's complexity. So anyone who, I'm pretty sure that all of you try to invite some of your friends, maybe your family, to the blockchain, you know? And we call it like a granny filter. That means that if you're doing some blockchain stuff, it should be such easy even for Granny to use it, yeah? And if Granny will be able to interact with blockchain, you know, to send some transaction, to get a profit from the DeFi, that means that you're doing this pretty well project, yeah? And it's our first aim and the first challenge that we faced. The second one is fragmentation of liquidity, yeah? All of you is here and you know how to difficult transfer some liquidity between and across the chains. And it's from one side, it means that inside the chain we have a fragmentation, and the second part that we have a fragmentation inside the DeFi. So we have many decentralized exchanges, yeah, we have many like protocol for lending, and really liquidity is fragmentized. The next is the height cost. Yeah, it's more about Ethereum for sure, yeah, and last time also about, as an example, like a Tron network, because I'm pretty sure that all of you sent USDT with the Tron network, and a few years ago it was less than $1, now more than $4, so not pretty cool, yeah? And for sure the security risk. So from one side, your chain might be compromised. From other side, it also means that your protocol might be compromised. And it's a problem that we try to, try to find a way how to solve it in the Haust network. Yeah, we try to simplify user experience, and as I said, we anytime apply this filter, like a granny filter. We also try to achieve the cross-chain compatibility with AggLayer for sure. Yeah, we try to make the cost lower, and for sure robust security, because we don't need to have some, we don't want to choose the security or the price. Okay, what we used? We used a ZK rollup, a ZK Polygon CDK. CDK, I'm sure that you know what is it, but the idea is that it's the easiest way for now to create the layer 2s without any, additional complexity. In the Haust network, we really wanted to focus on the end product, not on the technology itself, yeah? And if some cool stuff exists on the market, we don't need to re-engineer it, so we can just use it once again. For sure, we wanted to integrate with ZK EVM Polygon, because with AggLayer for sure. Yeah, we also add some data availability layer, because we don't want to limit ourselves when we move forward and add more and more protocols and more use cases for the chain. That means that once we will face with a problem about data, and we have to provide the easiest access, and we have to provide, the understandable way and for more complex solution, yeah, and what we really wanted to achieve once it's a new type of, society. I'm pretty sure that, it's a base word, and you heard it many times before, but the idea is that if we will create our project as simple as using of the normal email system, because all of the granny can work with emails. I hope that's all of them, yeah, and then we also should achieve this, understandable use cases and simplification. And for this, we add the account abstraction as well. Yeah, so I'm also sure that you know what account abstraction is, but in reality, that means that users, anyone ready to work with Web2 projects, with Web2 applications, and inside our solution, we use account abstraction to simplify, to reduce the cost, to social recovery as well, and for sure AggLayer for cross-chain liquidity, because we don't want to limit ourselves with liquidity of our own chain, and if we are talking about simplification, it also means that everyone wanted to get access to the liquidity, and they don't even need to understand what's going on. Yeah, they just wanted to send some cost-effective transactions. They wanted to send a pretty big sum, you know, and in this case, using extra liquidity is something that we really need. Okay, moving forward. What Haust is? So we create, first of all, we create a wallet itself. What is it? Like mobile wallets for sure, and as well as like browser extension and Telegram mini app. So, you know, all of the user can choose what they prefer to use. It might be just a normal mobile application. If they more, you know, from the traditional DeFi world, they prefer to use a browser extension, I'm sure. And for someone who just really like to work with Telegram, they can use the Telegram mini app. Yeah, and it's also important to note that all of our products will be available with the classic MetaMask. So for sure, inside the MetaMask, you can't, you know, use a normal account abstraction. It's the stuff that built in inside our own application, but it's still, you know, useful. And if some of you prefer to work with MetaMask, okay, no problem. The second and the most crucial part is Haustoria. So inside the Haust network, we call it, you know, native yield. So for someone who don't really know how the DeFi works, someone who don't really want to interact with the many protocols, we provide this option. For example, they can send some transaction from the Ethereum or from some of other chains. This let it be stablecoins. Yeah, they send the stablecoin for the specific address of our own smart contract, and this smart contract will invest it and issue H token, we call it rebase token, on our own chain. So the user will work directly with the token that already includes some investment component. They don't need to care about, you know, about how to transfer this liquidity, how to reinvest it. Everything will be done on the smart contract side, yeah? And in this case, their token will be price of this token will be grow faster and faster, you know, and in the end of the day, they will have access to this token. And in the case if they wanted to convert it back, so they just send it back and getting back the bigger number of the previous investments. What we also include on our own chain is a decentralized exchange and a lending protocol, yeah? So for example, if they transfer some token from some chain and later get this liquidity as a rebase token, they will be able to, you know, use it once again on the decentralized exchange, you know, so like one more layer of yield, and or for the lending protocol. Yeah, some technologies. And it's nice that I talked after some technical guys. It means that I don't need to spend a lot of time to describe what's going on here. But we built, as I mentioned previously, on the zero-knowledge Polygon ZK EVM CDK, yeah, so with ZK rollups, and we also use like a Polygon ZK EVM, yeah. I think that's an understandable part, and as I said, it helps us to save some time on the development. We don't need to, you know, develop consensus from the scratch, yeah. So we just implement the stuff that already exists, and it also was a smart decision. Why? Because after this we have access to the AggLayer, yeah. So anything that developed Polygon Labs, we can, you know, implement, and it can be, you know, accessible with this solution because we used the technology like a Polygon ZK EVM CDK. Oh. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's as I said, it's we reduce the cost, we get the scalability as rollups. Yeah, for sure, we have a security, and we don't need to care about the security itself. You know, we just have to be sure that like the sequencer is pretty secure, but it's secured from the technology. So, and it's nice why we decide to use the existing technology. And for sure, the fast finality. It's also important part because if when we will work with the aggregation layer, that means that it's really important for the synchronization. I'm sure that once, you know, the Polygon Labs will introduce asynchronous synchronization with the AggLayer, but now just synchronized synchronization. It's why we need this fast finality. Okay, yeah. So how it works? Yeah, I previously described it a bit, but the idea is we use, like any user who interact with account abstraction sends a transaction. It's it's work on our own chain, and later we publish the result of it on the mainnet. But I'm sure that you know this stuff. Yeah, AggLayer. I don't think that I can add something to the previous speech, but I can from the technical side. But I can focus on the more use case for the end user who don't really know like how the blockchain works. So our aim is provide access to someone. Users don't care. You know, in reality, what they use, they just wanted to get some yield, and they wanted to send a transaction across the board, as an example. Yeah, and we wanted to provide such opportunities for them. And the AggLayer, then it's a cool solution because we can, in our case, they will be able to work not just with our chain, but with many chains that we integrate in our wallets as well. So we're planning to add, like we're planning to make it like a cross-chain wallet, yeah? And they can easily, with using AggLayer, send in transaction inside our chain, outside of our chain, or across chain. And it's pretty nice that AggLayer provides us opportunity to make atomic transaction across the chains. It's pretty useful for end user, and it means that we don't need to limit ourselves from the security perspective. Yeah, data availability. Yeah, I'm things that maybe some of you know. So we will use the NEAR protocol to store some data, and later it will be really useful for building more complex investment in some investment opportunities, some investment protocols, and to store some private data, and it will be also faster for sure. Account abstraction that I previously mentioned, for sure we need to let user like a social recovery. Yeah, so user can forget their seed phrase, and I'm pretty sure that all of users, even not all of users, the biggest number of the user, let's say in this way, don't know how to extract the private keys and how they can restore their wallet like with the private keys. Yeah, and for our granny, she really needs to have this like recovery opportunity, just a social recovery. For sure, we also will help with initial payments because account abstraction lets us pay for the users, and for first few months after mainnet, it will be pretty soon, basically. Yeah. So we will pay for the gas fees for end user, and for sure we will also help them to to make the after this, like the transaction also will be cost effective. And for sure it's also help with the processing transaction and the problems that we faced when we developed, like as I mentioned, yeah, we create our own wallet. That means that, and we plan to add more chains to work with it. And if we implement account abstraction, so the address of the account abstraction on the different chain will be different, yeah. And it's like a tricky question, but we have a few ideas how to let user work with account abstraction on different chain. Haust protocol I previously mentioned, but it's really important. So it lets us issue the rebase tokens that include investment component. So user can get the investment from any of the protocol existed on the other chain and send this investment together with our rebase token to somebody else. Yeah, and we really think that we will add more and more protocols in the Haust protocol and provide access for the end user. Benefits, yeah, so it will be a yield optimization, so users don't need to make like this rebalancing or rebasement, so they will just store the rebase token and all the investment is included. It's also pretty, how it's useful from the perspective that they don't need to pay any times when we made this reinvestment or rebase, because when you work with full transactions, that will be enough. Yeah, we're also like planning to add the staking, additional staking applications, and that provide from like a staking protocol and other pretty complex stuff. But I'm pretty sure if you need to describe to end user what the wallet is, you can't describe in reality what is the risk taking and how it works, the staking after staking, and it's pretty complex stuff. Yeah, and we wanted to fully resolve these steps and to remove these barriers. integration, as I mentioned, for sure. Yeah, workflow. So user just deposit something on a special smart contract that launched on some other EVM-compatible chain. So let it be like Ethereum, yeah, or Polygon or Binance Smart Chain, and he sent this amount of tokens to our smart contract. Yeah, it's investment, and later the passive goes to the smart contract, and the smart contracts are reinvested once again. So users don't need to do it himself. Yeah, and it's how the look like the total, how the look like the Haust story. Yes, what includes. You can see here the different wallets on the different chains, some specific. Okay, it works. Yeah, some specific address to deposit and withdraw, some wallets that work directly with the work directly with investment smart contract. It might be a lending protocol, it might be a decentralized exchange. And it also might be used for the staking. Yeah, I'm sure that you know that we can use the staking for as an investment, to provide some security proofs. Yeah, and and later user will get on our own chain with a Haust Hub H rebase token. Yeah, for the really beginning, we're planning to support H stablecoins, H BTC. HETH, and and that's it. But for sure, we're planning to add more and more tokens, and it will be based on the existed protocols that we will support. I think that's pretty it. And this wallet will be aggregated inside of our solution. Yeah. So that's it. Do you have any questions? I'm really ready to answer. Any question about the technology aspect? No technology? Okay, so let me then summarize what's going on. We wanted to provide access to the Web2 users to the investment in the DeFi without investment in the DeFi themselves. Yeah, so they will be able to work with many chains with AggLayer as a solution, and we're also planning to add a few more improvements for AggLayer as well. We wanted to participate maybe in we wanted to help, I hope, yeah, to the Polygon Labs, how to improve a few important updates for the AggLayer that let it support more chains, and it will be useful. And me personally truly believe that AggLayer is a solution that let everyone to work with the liquidity across the chains. Yeah, so we have to be like a chain agnostic, and we have to be like liquidity agnostic. Yeah, for the end user don't care. Yeah, and how it look like right now, that if you wanted to send to somebody else some amount, you have to agree on what chain. But it's not a perfect user experience, and it's also open few options for corrupting. For example, you copied your address, send it to somebody else, but a special program can, change the address or replace it on your laptop, and it's not a useful, and it's a risky. So we wanted to fully remove these barriers. So yeah, that's pretty it. Thank you.